Greetings, students in CTLE 6510 Cyber Pedagogy. Welcome to week 4. This is your instructor, Linda Ralston. We continue this week with our adventure into developing a course, or at least 3 modules of a course. Several people have asked, what do I mean by an e-learning course? And last week's lesson was to identify what that meant. But allow me to recap. For this project, you're allowed to do a fully online course, a hybrid or blended course. But if you want to do a traditional classroom course, you must design for this class 3 modules that are intended to be developed via technology, so at a distance. So in keeping with this being a cyber pedagogy class, I would like you to practice that which we are learning about, and that would be e-learning. Well, what do I hope that you learned this week? This lesson, by the end of this lesson, I hope that you'll be able to identify the difference between a learning objective or a course objective and a learning outcome. There is a difference, and it's something that is very important these days, given the fact that we now are required by the most recent Northwest accreditation visit to have learning outcomes in all of our syllabi. The second learning outcome is, at the end of this lesson, I hope that you'll be able to synthesize the use of an antecedent, a behavior, and criterion into each one of your learning outcomes. And then finally, hope that you'll not only develop 4 or 5 measurable learning outcomes for your course project, but will also take that to the next step, which is to integrate it using action verbs. Lesson today, I hope that you will be able to integrate action verbs from Bloom's digital taxonomy or Fink's taxonomy into your learning outcomes. And a lot of this lesson is going to be solely focused on learning outcomes and how to write learning outcomes. This week, the lesson format is going to be a little different than what it has been in the first 3 weeks. I like to change things up, as you know, but I also like to demonstrate for you some of the best practices. So one of the ways that we can set this up is that you have your readings intermixed with short recorded lectures, and then having several active thinking exercises. We've kind of done that with a little bit more extensive lectures. Now I'm going to go to very little audio lectures, but incorporating some other aspects that you can utilize. Now you might be wondering why I decided to do this week. Why did I change it up? Well, the reason was this past week I was reminded that many times our undergraduate students, and sometimes our graduate students, do not always read what we assign them. And in my electronic marketing class, I teach a flipped course where they are supposed to listen to the lecture before they come to class so that we can really do something during class in the computer lab. Unfortunately, the students apparently either just scanned the readings, but they came ill prepared. They didn't bring their study guides filled out. They didn't work on the study questions. So when I had a quiz, they bombed it. They really did a terrible job. They also struggled in class and was not able to work on search engine optimization and keyword research. So I rushed home on Wednesday after a meeting, and I totally redid the lesson for our Thursday class. I created a new study guide and a new format. This time I incorporated short readings with short audio commentary and active engagement. So similar to what you're going to experience this week. Well, you hopefully will find it as interesting as the students did, and hopefully as successful. This last Thursday, the students turned around, and Thursday was so productive and successful. I certainly hope that you find this format equally successful for your learning. Now, just in case some of you are thinking, I don't need to study much on this lesson, I can just jump right to the exercise and complete my learning outcomes. Well, let me just caution you. I serve on the College of Health Curriculum Committee, and each and every month we are tasked with the responsibility of reviewing the syllabi for all course changes. This is for new courses, course name changes, new degree plans, whatever has to do with the curriculum, we have to review it. Unfortunately, the most frequent reason that we return a submission to the originating department is the failure to use proper language when submitting the learning outcomes. In fact, many people are still using the term learning objectives, even though the Northwest accrediting body has said to us that we have to have learning outcomes on all the syllabi. Or if they do use the proper term learning outcomes and they include the phrase at the conclusion of this course each student will be able to, and then use it, they're missing an action verb. It amazes me how many people fail to recognize the importance of developing quality learning outcomes before they develop a new course or revise an existing course. Therefore, this lesson is dedicated to ensure that you will never have a curriculum committee return your syllabi to you due to a problem with learning outcomes. So, just take up that challenge and make sure you fulfill that obligation. And with that, let's get the show on the road.